Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Dublin. I'm a health and life coach, and I help you to speak, to lead, and to live with confidence because you know what? You deserve to be a winner in this life. I apologize. I had to restart my computer right at the moment when I had to begin. So I do apologize for beginning late, but I'm here. All of these, when these snafus happen, they always make me hark back to speaking engagements, which is what we want to talk about today a little bit about how for you not to be nervous. What do you do if you're nervous? I'll take you through some of what I teach in my Speak with Confidence class, right? But when stuff like that happens, I'm always reminded of the fact that in any speaking engagement, stuff is going to go wrong. Okay. Something's not going to go right. And I think the job of the speaker is to understand that and to prepare for it and to be like, you know what? A speaking engagement is not a perfect engagement. It is one where speaker and audience and the whole speaker and audience are human beings. And I think too, not that perfection is not possible, but I do believe that the authenticity comes in being able to be human while you deliver a message and to be able to get over any of the snafus, the hiccups, the computer not starting on time and not being able to get flustered, but to be able to turn every mishap, every hiccup into a talking point, into an application of life principles. What do you think? Have you ever had speaking engagements go awry, go totally whack? And what did you do? I've had a lot of them and seen a lot of them as well. And I always train speakers to relax. You're human. If you make an error, is anybody going to cut you off and take your house, cut you off to jail, throw you out of a country? Are you going to lose your salvation? All right. So relax. In other words, that if things don't go the way that they're supposed to, perhaps when you begin speaking, then you regroup. You remember what your purpose, your message was, and as quickly as you can, you simply bounce back and begin to speak to your audience. They are going to appreciate that. But don't try to one, make as if nothing happened, because everybody can see, or two, totally fall apart. I was training this speaker, and just watching her process before we got into training. Part of her process, you guys, was as soon as she knew that she had to get on, go live. This one was not even in person. This was live. This was streaming live. And while it goes further, because you never can tell who's watching, it does have its stresses. The fact that you are sitting in the comfort of your space should give you some measure of confidence, right? But this person I was training, the thought process before she began was such that, oh my gosh, I'm not even sure what's going to happen. This is going to be so hard. Where do I begin? And although she had prepared, although she seemed to have been ready, but the fact that she was looking at this impending live stream counting down 1 2 3 as a stress, she totally fell apart even before we began. And what happened is, definitely at the point of beginning her presentation, computer broke down. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, because in a way you almost called it. It's better before you begin a speech or any kind of presentation or engagement to get quiet, to be at your best, to think great thoughts. I'm going to be great. I have something to say. All of those wonderful things that I teach in Speak with Confidence. So there's still some time if you want to join Speak with Confidence. If not, we'll probably have it later in the year. I'm not sure. This might be the last one. I'm not sure. But you can still join Speak with Confidence. We begin on Thursday. I can't believe this has been like a long month. But we begin on Thursday, the 30th of March. And if you want to learn to speak professionally and authentically, you will never have to pass this way again. What makes my program work? I always say it's a combination of things, some of which I'm going to share with you today. So I thought, and I hope you join me on Sundays. I'm going to do this show my way. This is Basement Chronicles Live. I'm going to do my show my way. So I do hope you can join me on a Sunday at this time, and I'll share a little wisdom. We get to laugh a little bit, talk a little bit, get ready for the week ahead, perhaps, and be inspired to do our best. That's the whole point, okay? I have a couple of things to say today. Remember, I said I'm going to do things my way. So we're going to talk about, and hi to my friends in the Diamonds in the To All the Girls Success Club. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I've been a little, not out there for a bit, just doing some stuff in the background. But I'm here, and I hope you guys are doing well wherever you're listening to me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel, like the broadcast, and share it. That's how you show appreciation if this is impacting you in any way. Afterwards, I'm going to jump on Instagram. My Instagram link is not working, so I have to kind of figure out how to make the link work like it used to. I think Instagram is so finicky. Instagram is like that only child. Honestly, like everything has to be customized for them. I don't know if anybody thinks that way, but yeah. So they don't like if you go through like a third party or something like that. So they prefer if you do like a native broadcast, like you broadcast from Instagram itself. Only child syndrome, okay? All you only children out there. I'm not an only child. Are you an only child? Let's see. Anywho, folks, let's begin talking about what to do if you're nervous. Believe it or not, you know where I begin with this topic? I simply begin with why should you speak? Because the last 2 years of being a life coach have made me realize the importance of getting your thoughts right in any engagement, in any situation, life situation, challenge that you have to do, activity that you're about to undertake. Getting your thoughts right is like the basic, most foundational, and the strongest thing that you can do. And so, when I begin teaching about what to do if you're nervous, I simply ask the question, first of all, why are you speaking? Why are you there in front of a camera, perhaps, or a mic, or going live? Why are you speaking? Why are you in front of a class or teaching this presentation to attentive and not so attentive people? What is your purpose? Audience members, if you can figure that out, you have half the battle figured out and won. And so I thought I would put together, we do a lot more of that in Speak with Confidence as well. Why should you speak up? The reasons that you should be speaking up, either as an immigrant, either as somebody who, just a regular person. Speaking does so much for you, and it does in you, and it does many great things to your audience as well. So I'm speaking to the person who perhaps has a presentation tomorrow, the person who has an upcoming engagement and is feeling the butterflies even now. Can I first tell you that the first reason that you need to speak up is because there is somebody who needs to hear what you have to say. It's always an eye opener and a comfort to my participants when we delve into that topic. There is somebody who wants to hear what you have to say, believe it or not. I imagine you were asked to speak. You are on this platform because either you are an authority, either you are an example of something that somebody wants to portray, either you have extra information. Don't doubt what you're doing there. It's important. And I think like if we start to be and begin from that understanding that somebody needs to hear what I have to say, then it becomes a little easier. It takes the edge and the stress off of speaking. That's the first thing. Here's the other thing. If you don't speak up, somebody else is going to speak for you. Do you hear what I said? If you don't speak up in your milieu, in your workplace, in your circles, somebody else who you might whisper your ideas to, that person is going to speak up for you. Tell me if you've ever had any experience with that. Some people, hi Lindretta, hi Zaria, thank you for joining me on the program. Basement Chronicles Live. You guys, I'm gonna get like the ticker tape around to get the Basement Chronicles, just kind of working with you guys can chat back to me so I can put up your comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. Perhaps check my accounts as time goes along. That too, right? Have you ever, especially as immigrants, some of the stories that I get, because I get a lot of professional immigrants, immigrants who are professionals, not professional immigrants. That is different. I get a lot of immigrant professionals in Speak with Confidence, people who leave their own countries as professionals and have to start all over in a new place where, in all fairness, people don't really know them, that perhaps they're dealing with stereotypes and all sorts of isms, and somehow they lose their voice. And the thing is, one way to regain your voice, regain your confidence, is to speak up. And many times, us immigrants, you come with great ideas because you have a diverse experience. It has been proven that companies that are diverse in their makeup and the employee profiles are able to be more resilient in solving problems in the world. There is strength and there is power in diversity. But many times, many immigrants don't speak up because you've lost your confidence. You don't sound like everybody else. Like one of my favorite posts I do every year when I advertise Speak with Confidence is speak up, accent and all. In other words, don't let your accent stop you. Are you clear? Are you speaking so people can understand? Are you using words that mean the same thing? Diction, for example. And if you are, exactly how you say it does not need to sound like the next person. In fact, I really do hope that you appreciate your own accent. Okay? Just saying. So if you don't speak up, many times immigrants tell their ideas to their colleagues, and in meetings, their colleagues speak up, say their ideas, get the credit for what they've said. And the immigrant is there like, yeah, that was my idea. But immigrant professional, you didn't speak up. You need to get it. You need to be counted. You need to let your voice be heard. It is as important as the next person. In fact, perhaps the barrier to you getting into the same space as people who are native to the country, the barriers might have been higher. So the fact that you got in, it definitely means that you have something to offer. Open your mouth and speak. Professionalism back home is professionalism there, wherever you find yourself. Speak up. So, the second reason, and remember, I'm taking a different approach to dealing with your nervousness by going to the underlying reasons that we are nervous, because we don't think people want to hear what we have to say, because we don't think what we have to say is important. I love this quote. It's an African proverb. You've probably heard it. And it says, until the lion tells his side of the story, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Until the lion tells his side of the story, the tale of the hunter will always glorify the hunt. The tale of the hunt, sorry, will always glorify the hunter. Tell your side of the story. As a Black immigrant professional, female Black immigrant professional, one of the reasons that I speak up is so that people who are perhaps not racist, but just ignorant meaning that all I have in my mind is what I've been told. I've never interacted with Black people. All I have are the stereotypes of what I see on television that is not even true. One of the reasons that I speak up is that people might have an authentic representation of one Black woman, not a monolithic kind of, oh my gosh, all Black women are like this. No, excuse me. No, at least you would have interacted with somebody who's not afraid to let her voice be heard, and we can begin to interface on an equal footing. It's very important that you speak up, because if you don't, then people don't know you or know where you come from or anything. So speak up for you to dispel the myths, the stereotypes, the everything. So I want to also put forward some personal reasons for speaking up. If you are somebody who's afraid to speak up and you're nervous, some of these reasons that I underline here might be the underlying ones why you feel nervous in the first instance. Here's another one. Do you know speaking validates you? It does. Let me give you an example. I started going live here in 2020 during COVID. And I started Basement Chronicles doing video. It was not my first foray into like broadcasting or so on. I come from being a broadcaster, television presenter, and producer back in my country, St. Lucia. I did live TV where anything can happen and learn to be able to, like produce my ideas on the fly and to think out loud and to be comfortable with what came out. So I do have a lot of experience doing this. But somehow, coming here, I live in Canada right now, coming here and not having that support system or that platform, you simply become like everybody else. And what happened was when I began going live, especially in that very uncertain time, and realizing that my voice made a difference. My voice helped people to get through difficult and dark times. You know what? It helped me to get through the dark times of COVID. I started Basement Chronicles partly because I was home with my three boys, working from home, parenting from home, helping them with school from home. Okay, my husband he didn't stop working, going out during COVID. So it was just me and the kids. And the two things I think that saved me, no, three things that saved me was really developing a regular prayer life, buying a treadmill, and thirdly, starting Basement Chronicles and beginning to reach out with my voice. If there's anybody out there who has something to say and is afraid to say it, speaking up and speaking out is a way of validating yourself and seeing the result of your thoughts in other people's words, etc. Now, it's not always good. You're going to get criticism, but that's all part of it. I always say one of the reasons that I think I'm so confident as a speaker is because it starts from an understanding of something. I always say I have nothing missing and nothing broken. So criticize me, don't say stuff right, get it wrong sometimes. I still have nothing missing, nothing broken. I don't know that I would be able to be out there like that if I felt that any swipe, any criticism of how I presented said something about me. And I teach my speakers to separate out what you produce from who you are. I'm really thinking of like working with speakers because I did a post a couple weeks ago, and I was saying that when you step out on stage to speak or when you go live, it's not just, you see everything. And if you are a trained speaker looking at other speakers, you can tell the isms, the ins and the outs, right? You can tell the things that they don't want to talk about and the things that they keep on pushing, perhaps because they've dealt with. You can tell when if you follow somebody long enough, you can tell their journey. And I love to take my speakers on that journey to say, if you can work within yourself and do the hard mining work of getting comfortable with who you are, when you step out there to speak, you are going to give people an unbelievable experience. So I'm really thinking of later in the year, I'm really working with people who want to speak, who are speakers and who want to make a living out of it, because that is so possible. So these are the reasons that you want to be able to speak and you should speak. It also, speaking forces you to level up. Okay. Right? It forces you to, I'm really big on, if you're going to go out there and speak, people have options. So as well as hearing your voice, they're also seeing you. So you need to be groomed and you need to take your time. It's not just a matter of, oh my gosh, people need to listen to what I have to say and not look at me. Excuse me, in which world? Then go do a podcast, okay? Go do a podcast where people don't have to see you. But if you are in the speaking world, I teach people that you in a way, you become eye candy and you give people the gift of yourself, which is the physical as well as the preparation for what you do and how you say it and how you prepare yourself to come out and give people the gift of yourself. That's what it is, unfortunately. So if you want to be in the dark ages, like, okay, I don't need to doll up. I don't need to make myself enhance my beauty. I don't need to do any of these things. Go ahead. All right. People will just scroll to the next person who looks good and sounds good. Thank you very much. Like, no, you know? So yeah, that's what I teach. And I with no holds barred, that's what you get. So let's now deal exactly with the nervousness. Hi, Eric. How you doing? Let's now deal with the nervousness in particular. The day has come. You have prepared. You have, taken the time to take care of yourself. You're ready. You have prepared. Why are you still nervous? You guys, if you were not nervous, I would be worried. It means you just simply think that you perhaps walking into your living room and sitting down and having coffee with somebody in your pajamas, when you need to rise to the occasion as a speaker and give people the gift of yourself and put your best foot forward. Every speech, every engagement is a performance, not in the sense of being who you are not, but being so yourself in that kind of dramatic way that you step out of yourself and you enhance what you already have. I don't know what the hell I just said there, but it made sense to me. What I mean is that you're not faking it. When you step out there to speak on stage, doing a streaming live or a recording, doing a keynote speech, you rise to the occasion. It is a performance in that sense that I need to put everything in place to create the magic for my audience. Everything from how I look to what I say to how I make them feel to how I end my speech, that entire offering to people is a performance. And so people think about it that way. Perhaps you can get a bit nervous. But here's what it does. If I know I need to rise to the occasion, right? And I need to get up there, I will prepare. I see so many speakers who come on. Well, can you imagine telling people that you just put your speech together? You guys just don't do that. Okay. No, like if I'm there listening to somebody, your speech can never be as good when you think it out as when you just put it together. No, it's just like, and I know if there are any of my poet friends listening, they will know this. They will know this. That hi, Liz, how are you doing? Hi, nice to see you. Yes, yeah, it's a new time. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting myself together, Liz. Sorry about that. Right? When you just write a poem, that's just your draft. When you just write a speech, that's just your draft. A good speech takes time. So we also focus on the content, on how you put the speech together to make sense. There are people who will come up on stage and be like, I just wrote this poem. Well, you're gonna get a just wrote this poem kind of delivery and kind of content. When like there are some poems, I'm also a poet. There's some poems that I revisit after a year and I'm like, no, this is missing something. And I get the missing piece perhaps after a long time. What you produce with time and the maturity of time can never be the same as what you produce on the fly. So start your speech early o'clock so that you can put all of the missing pieces. It's almost like, I don't know, writing a speech. It's almost like baking a cake. The cake that your mom bakes is different, perhaps, from what you get in the canteen. Let's put it that way. It has a special taste, a special flavor. And every delivery, every offering, every speaker has their own spirit that is infused into how they speak. And that takes time for you to get together and for you to produce. So you have to write it and leave it and think about it, come back to it. I always say, I don't know that you can paint a sunset before the sun sets. I don't know that you can do it. That things take time. Good things do take time to come together. So it is that interface. Like the last keynote that I had to do, you know, I literally walked with that speech for a couple of weeks. I walked with it. What I mean is, kept on thinking about it, kept on putting little pieces what I wanted to say. so that by the time I came to deliver the speech, I was intimate with the speech and that kind of, I knew it well, not word for word. I don't teach people to do word for word. No, no. There's a space for that. Like if you're doing a budget presentation, or if you're in government and you are addressing parliament, for example, where every word counts and is being documented and recorded, you have to speak verbatim. But the kind of speech that most people appreciate and you are accustomed to, that's what I'm doing right now. It's called extemporaneous speaking. I've got my points, but if you jump on IG when I'm done here, I will have delivered the same points, but perhaps my examples might be different. And the way that I structure my sentences and which points I put where will be different because extemporaneous speaking really focuses on ideas. And you're accustomed to this, this is just, listen, your speech can be as simple as you want it to be or as complicated as you want to go. You are accustomed to extemporaneous speaking. Your teachers did it all the time when they had slides and they put the slide up on the board and they spoke from the slide, right? You went to church perhaps and the sermon that the pastor or the priest delivered is extemporaneous speaking. I don't know that there are pastors who still, or, like just do the reading thing, the manuscript kind of delivery. No, most people have an idea. And what you do is at the point of delivery, you roll out the idea. But listen, the best speakers, even though they do extemporaneous speaking, even before there's so much practice of the idea and not just the words that will, accompany the idea. Now that takes time, you guys. Of course, you want to start with manuscript, etc. But I teach you to get to the point. There are little tips and tricks for you to get to the point where you can speak extemporaneously and give people the gift of yourself. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already 27 minutes. I could go on speaking about speaking forever. But I want to move on. So there are other ways for you to combat nervousness. Like, so I said good nervousness is good so that you know you're rising to the occasion. You can also control it with your breathing, with visualization before the speech, with telling yourself positive statements like, my audience will love me. How many people say that? Most people go out on stage or stand up at a lectern saying, no, these people are going to just chew me up. These people are not going to like me. Excuse me. If you go like that, that's exactly what you're going to get. Now, you're going to get the naysayers anyway. So you might as well go with the one person who wants to hear what you have to say. There is that person in every audience, I'm telling you. So you focus on that person and you relax into being on mission to help that person with what you have to say, as opposed to catering to the naysayers who are naysayers because they don't believe in you anyway. You don't want to focus about them. We're not even going to talk about them. So if you want to learn more about speaking, I'm telling you, this course, Speak with Confidence, and we have Speak and Sell. Speak with Confidence, it's like riding a bike. You just never have to do it again. Once I'm done, once we do our weeks together, you just never have to do it again. You will forever after, hey, Cindy, how are you? You'll just never have to do it again. You learn it and then you'll be good. So even if you don't join my course, that's fine. I want to prepare you to settle into your speech, not to forget that you have a voice, and not to forget that what you have to say is important. Thank you very much. Jump out there. Get involved. Don't let people speak for you. Oh my goodness. No, you have a voice and you have a right and a responsibility to let it be known and let it be heard. I think, though, we just simply have to know how. And my course, Speak with Confidence, is one of those ways. So, you guys, the other thing I came to say, remember I told you I'm doing Basement Chronicles my way. So you can jump off now. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you doing? So is it a bad thing if you can't stick to a script? I would practice, but I find I flow better just speaking from what's on my heart. No, so what you need to do perhaps is not write an entire script, write out the entire speech, Write out your ideas, and that's fine. As I was saying before, Liz, like if you just write your ideas, how are you going to move from point A to point B? And this is a love affair with your audience, right? You'll look at their faces, you'll see that perhaps personal examples are really getting to them, right? Oh, it's good to, yes, Cindy, happy you're here too. I haven't been very regular, I apologize, but hopefully, like life is kind of settling down. So hopefully you can catch me here for Basement Chronicles Live 3 to 4 my time. That's Mountain Standard Time. So Liz, as I was saying, you don't have to write out the entire thing. You manuscript, like who does manuscript? If you're not in government giving the budget, you don't have to do a manuscript kind of presentation, right? Or if you sometimes people do it with podcasts too, right? Um, oh my goodness, thank you. I'm getting text and so on. Let me focus. Write out your points. Practice delivering your points. And then, because yesterday I was listening to this runaway pastor, okay? You have to have order. I know the Holy Spirit moves and all of that, you guys. Run away presentation, hours upon hours. Okay, now that was good in itself, but everything needs order, even especially the house of God. And there was no structure. He literally said that when you're called to speak, as a pastor, if you are filled up, when they squeeze you like the sponge, just like a sponge, you'll just simply overflow. As a professional speaker and as somebody of faith, I do not agree. I think I want to be able to let the Holy Spirit flow as well as have structure, because like Jesus go on forever, okay? I'm just saying. So you don't want to run away with your speech, with your presentation, but you literally want to be able to be authentic in the delivery of it. And I'm big on that with my speakers. Like, come in and privately, together in the group, I will teach you how to speak from your ideas and not be afraid. Most people stick to a script because they are afraid to trust themselves. Let me tell you, the reason you're afraid to trust yourself in speaking is because you don't have any um, experience. That's one thing the program gives you, experience in being able to speak. If you want to join Speak with Confidence, there's still some time. You can go, let me see if I see the program still. We still have some time. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com, and you can sign up there. We begin on Thursday. Yeah, and if you want, if not, next time. All right, Liz has another question. Yes, you do that, bullet points to see the audience faces when they connect with what you are saying. Sharing your personal experience connects, right? Do you know, Liz, many people are afraid of people's faces. This thing about, oh, look to the back of the wall. Look, you know how they tell you when you're speaking, for you not to get nervous, look to the back of the wall. Excuse me, if I'm sitting in the audience and you're looking above my head, I will feel very affronted. Why aren't you looking at me? Is something wrong with me that you can't look at me? Why are you looking to the back of the wall? Is it more interesting than my face? Right? But I understand why we tell people to do that. What we should be teaching is people to interface and how you look into somebody's face and look away. And the fact that you will see, I teach you that there are different kinds of audiences. Listen, in every audience, you're going to get people who are soaking up what you say. You're also going to get people who would rather be sleepy, rather be sleeping, rather be on their beds. Not because they're not interested in what you have to say, but my goodness, you don't know if they had a hard night or something happened and, they're just tired. And you can't, I teach you not to make it mean anything. If it doesn't mean anything, you simply move on to the next phase that is inviting, and you don't focus too much on the person who's having a hard time. It might just simply be because that person is physically tired. It has nothing to do with the excitement or not of your presentation. But many of us, they teach us to read the room. And yes, you need to do that, but it's what you make it mean that will make you successful in how you speak. Believe you me, I've had enough experience to know about that. All right. So, Liz, I hope that answered the question. You guys, last thing that I wanted to talk about. I want to talk to those women out there who seem to have lost their mojo. Okay? Let's talk a little bit, ladies. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, you were all that. You did some wonderful, incredible things in your day. And now you're getting bigger. Now you're more successful. Now you're getting attention and you're getting pushback. And it's making you doubt yourself. I've had to deal with that with a couple clients lately in my life coaching program. And one of the things that we do is to go back and look at how you accomplished things in the past. Did you forget? Many times when we get opposition to the things that we are trying to do, it makes us doubt ourselves. And what I've realized about, and of course, I'm finished with speaking, right? Join the program, don't join the program, that's fine. Let's talk. This is my show. Welcome to Basement Chronicles Live. I'm doing it my way. I'm coming with what I have to say on my mind that will bless somebody and take you out of your funk today. Okay? Let's go. Don't forget, you are the beast. Don't forget how you went out there, did not care what anybody else was doing, and you did your own thing. Don't forget, even now, because people might be yapping at your heels, trying to take your attention, eyes front. Yes, you get more confident and more fired with constructive criticism. Absolutely, Cindy. But many times, when you're doing something well, people want to follow you, and that's fine. Sometimes people are out to destroy you as well. And we get bogged down. You never had this kind of opposition before. Maybe I might be doing something wrong. Baby girl, go back to that place where you were in your mind with the love of what you were doing and you were producing at that level without the interference or the reaction to what other people were doing. You hear me? Go back to the place where you were producing your product, your service, your business from a place of joy and love. I hope that means something. If you're watching this on the replay, please type replay because I'm pretty sure there is somebody out there who's getting bogged down in the noise that is created by the people around you, not realizing that the noise is meant to get you off your game. It is meant to tug at your heartstrings. It is meant to take your focus off of your prize, of your goal, and get you focused on what is fake. It's fake. You succeeded because you were you. If they are getting up there with you, that means you need to go higher. You need to go to the place where they can't breathe with you. You need to go to the place where you used to be, where it was very difficult to replace you. I hope that means something to somebody today. Somebody's getting tired. I know I did. Oh my gosh. Just life living, right? Just life living. Like you just simply you just simply get tired, weary, right? When you get tired and when you get weary, take some time away. Do it your way. But by all means, don't hang up your boots. Don't stop producing. Don't think that you've passed on the baton to whom? Did you forget what you did before? Sometimes I find we need to remind ourselves of our greatness. We need to remind ourselves of how we started in that elemental foundational place of love for what we produce and what we present to the world. The reason that it's getting to be a chore, a bother, it's because perhaps it's getting bogged down now in the bureaucracy of the world or in other people's. Girl, take your thing out. Okay? Take it out. No. Don't forget who you are. Do not forget your greatness. Do not forget that time when it was just you and the raw materials of your craft. and you did something that nobody had done before. Everybody who came after is secondary to that elemental and original thing that you did. So you are the GOAT. No, somebody needs to be reminded today of who you are, the greatness that was in you, how you did it before without any help. Mhm. You didn't have all of these PA there and VA there. No, no. You sat at your desk and you produced something that the world wanted. Go back there. Stay in that place for as long as you have to regain the love, the energy, the confidence, and then come back out again. And when you come back out, to make sure you just bypass. There is this, oh my gosh, I really should be talking about this example, but my boy showed it to me one time. There is this is one of my basketball friends. There is this video, I think, of Isaiah, what's his name? The older Isaiah, right? And he just stepped over this other basketball player back in the day. The guy did not look left or right. The guy fell down, and Isaiah, oh gosh, what is his name? My boys are upstairs. I forgot his name, but you guys, he just simply stepped over him like he didn't exist. And while I was like super arrogant and everything, I think in a way, that's how you need to step over the noise. Just step over it. Just step over it. Don't engage it. And you know what I realized? You know what opposition sometimes wants you to do? Opposition wants you to react. Just remember, when you were creating and producing at that level, you were not reacting, you were producing out of a place of love. And though it has gotten harder, perhaps with competition, whatever, the minute you start to react to somebody, it means that person has got into your head. And I always say, if somebody's in your head, they have won. If somebody's in your head, that means they are renting, literally living rent free in your head. They have won because it means they become the center, and everything else that you do revolves around them in reaction to what they do. No, step over that, please. Put that away. Go back to that place, that free airspace where it was just you and the thing that you loved to do. Don't react. The minute you start to react, you give the enemy, the distraction, the competition, you give it cred. Don't give it cred. Go higher. And if you find you competing, why are you competing? Why? There's space for everybody. That means you're on a level where you're not supposed to be. Go higher. What does higher look like? Walk around it. Thank you, Beverly. Walk around it. Walk over it. It doesn't exist. You guys should see that clip of Isaiah. What's his name? Oh my gosh, somebody tell me his name. But the guy he walked over, he became coach of the Golden State. That's all I know about him. I forgot his name. Is it Kevin or something like that? Something like that. Yeah, but no, don't forget, opposition isn't to be in that pitiful place where it exists. No, exactly. No. And the way that it gets us is because we forget who we are. Remember who you are. Remember the things that you did. Get back there. And I love this word so much, you guys. Like, it's a word that I discovered a couple months ago, maybe about a year. And the word is inimitable. Inimitable means able to be, not unable to be imitated, something like that. Okay. Inimitable means no, there's only one of me. There is only one of you. Do it your way. See how I told you I'm doing my show my way? I get to talk about about speaking or whatever, but I'm also going to share what's also on my heart about us women forgetting our greatness and bowing to the pressure to react. Don't forget who you are. No. And if it is that perhaps you slipped and you've come back a couple steps so that the competition might be coming up, regroup. What did you do for you to stay on top? Go back there. Put those elements of yourself into whatever you produce that cannot be reproduced and imitated. So you're not reacting to the competition. You're just like, this is me. Let's see what you can do with that. Okay, don't listen. Like, I know, like, especially like the social media space is very crowded. When a couple of us started this, like in 2020 with COVID, a couple of people emerged on the scene, kind of thing, right? And now some people have fallen off, but some people are continuing. So you have to continue, obviously, to reinvent yourself. But there's a phrase, let me just last thing. There's a quote that I actually transcribed from one of my favorite podcasts that I want to share with you. And I want you to remember, please take it down. Okay. If you don't get it, then just message me and I will send it. I'll send it to you because I have it. I can just copy and paste. And this is from a guy, Carlos Quinney, and he is the guy who really made Eric Thomas the motivational speaker who I admire, who got me into this social media space from afar. I've spoken to him on the phone in a group setting, but as far as I'm concerned, that's my mentor from afar, okay? And CJ, he's called, they do a podcast called S2S, and it comes out every Thursday. Anywho, when I heard CJ say this that I'm about to tell you, like that dropped something in my spirit, right? And here's what he said. He was talking about people who have the it factor. It factor, not meaning that you like some superstar, but you are so authentically yourself that you stand out. You have a flavor that is nobody else's. Okay? Here's what he said. When you see somebody who has that it factor, it is most likely because they are fully comfortable with who they are. That's CJ, and he said it on the Secret to Success podcast. And the episode, if you want to check it out, is the episode called Black and Ugly as Ever. Don't even ask. Just go listen. It's not what you think. Okay. But let me just say it one more time before I end. When you see somebody who has the it factor, it is most likely because they are fully comfortable with who they are. I hope you get to that place. I know for me, as a speaker and a writer, a poet, that kind of thing, I want to get to that place. I want to get to that place where I'm fully comfortable with who I am. I come on a Sunday, I'm 5 minutes late because mommy has to cook, and then the computer didn't work. But it's all of those little things together that make you who you are, that make you inimitable. And if you're inimitable, it means that you're not really bothered about what the other person is saying. You will have your tribe. And it's okay that other people have their own tribe. That is fine. We can't all love and be with everybody. That would be very irritating, let me tell you. Okay? So please go out and share and open your mouth and speak your truth. And if you get pushed back or you were wrong, chalk it up to experience and go back out again. But you have a right and a responsibility to be heard wherever you live, whoever you are, however much money you have or don't have, that mind that God gave you, you have a right and a responsibility to put it to work and to give people the gift of yourself. So I hope you do that this week, and join me again for Basement Chronicles, where, as you can see, we start one place and we end up somewhere great. That's all I can promise you. We'll start one place, but we will end up somewhere great. So join me. You guys, that sounds like a tagline for my program. I don't know. Anywho, have a great Sunday, everybody. And you can join me on IG now. Let's see how the extemporaneous thing. You can join me. My handle on IG is, let me see. My handle on IG is this, at Lisa M. Dublin. So I'll jump over there, perhaps get a drink of water, and then go live there to talk about speaking and not be nervous. And, whatever other great thought comes to my mind. So join me there if you have some time. I can just, bound to watch. You can just listen. You know what I mean? That's what I do when people go live. I'm not going to sit there and just listen, just watch. No, and go do stuff, and I'm listening all the time, right? Okay, thank you so much. And if I didn't get to your comments, I'm going to go back in after everything and, kind of say hi and thank you for watching. See you next